Alright guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, coilovers and how to do the ride height adjustment correctly. Now this is something new to me. Well, new the last month or so. It originally came from a video that was on suspension secrets. And he did was it an article? They did a podcast maybe with someone, I don't remember exactly, but on their website they've got an article on it about how to correctly do ride height adjustment on coilovers. And I'll admit I was doing it the wrong way as well. And basically it all comes down to one thing, and that is the bump to rebound ratio, i.e. the bump travel versus the rebound travel. You don't want to set up the coilover. I think the point they're getting to is you don't want to set a coilover up if it's not in the middle of the suspension travel or relatively close to suspension travel. Otherwise the suspension's going to be bottoming out, or you're not going to have sufficient droop rebound travel in the suspension to keep up with roads, you know, when the road drops away from you. This is focused towards the coilovers that have an independent bottom bracket for adjustment as well as the spring seat. So the process to do it is, first of all, it's a bit of a hassle to set up, definitely more work than just putting the spring seat up so there's no travel, the spring is not loose, and then just doing all the height adjustment with the bottom bracket. It's definitely more work to do it the correct way, but I think ultimately it's going to be massively better. So the first step is to have the damper unit on its own without the spring and fit that to the car, and then get the ride height where you want it, i.e. from the center of the wheel to the wheel arch, and do that completely with the bottom bracket of the coilovers. So you've got the coilover unit on the car without the spring. You've got a jack underneath the wishbone so you can adjust it up and down as you want it. Get to that optimum ride height, and then that is going to be where you lock off the bottom bracket of the coilover. You do that for all four corners. The next step is to put the spring back on the car, and then you adjust the ride height, because the ride height is not going to be exactly where you want it. So you drop the spring seat or raise the spring seat to get the ride height that you want. And basically that is it in a nutshell. There's an article that goes into this in depth and all the things, the problems that you might encounter when you're doing it. So I'll put a link to that in the video description. The reason they focused on this quite a bit was because they were saying that even the coilover manufacturers give the wrong advice to this. The coilover manufacturers say just get it so the spring is not loose and do all the adjustment from the bottom bracket, which is fine, I suppose, if the damper unit, if the spring and everything is for that specific car and they've done the research. You should be in the ballpark. But they say maybe they haven't, the coilover manufacturers, and also you don't know what height they set out, what their ideal ride height for the car was. So long story short, it's probably worth doing it the correct way, because you're not going to be going in there and adjusting it super regularly anyway, so it's worth doing it once correctly the first time, if you know what I mean. And that's how to do ride height adjustment on coilover suspension the correct way. Link in the video description to an article that goes in depth on this. As always, thanks for watching, look after yourself, and I'll see you again in the next video.